Now, the threat of changes to negative gearing is already getting investors nervous. Joining me live is the Ray White AKG Group CEO, Avi Khan. Avi, landlords considering leaving the property market amid these fears of negative gearing changes.
Yeah, Tim, look, it's very concerning for us when you look at what's happening out there with the debate. So 2.2 million Australians own investment properties throughout Australia. These are the people doing the heavy lifting at the moment. And this is in the backdrop of a housing crisis that we're going through. The housing crisis is essentially a supply crisis. We cannot afford for the landlords to start leaving the marketplace because that will make the housing crisis even worse. I think it's a basic supply and demand issue that the government is not understanding at the moment. Indeed, most policymakers are not understanding that if we put more cost on landlords, they're going to leave.
It's been a risky proposition in the past politically. Do you really think that they'll do something?
Well, you know, most of the investors are doing the heavy lifting out there. I hope that the government, both sides of government, reach out to the industry groups and help with the policy making decisions out there, because 90% of the rental homes are owned by mum and dad investors. The government only accounts for about 4% of the supply. So there's no policies out there by the government saying, hey, if the landlords leave the market, what's going to happen out there? Who's going to come up with a shortfall of supply out there? So it's very concerning for us. And the signals that these policy changes are sending out to the market is for even future investors entering the market, hey, don't come into the market because we're going to make it more expensive for you to own these rental properties.
Absolutely. Now, what's your general overview of the housing market at the moment as we begin October?
I think it's very balanced, actually, Tim. I think there's something in there for buyers and for sellers alike. So it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to sell. It's a very balanced market. I would say to the first home buyers out there, don't limit your searches to 1 or 2 suburbs. Look at 8 or 7 different suburbs that you can buy into, because there's massive price difference with just 2 kilometres of road. So look at different suburbs. Don't discount auctions. Don't say I'm not going to look at auctions, because that equates for about a third of the marketplace at the moment. So you're going to be longer in the market if you're not looking at auction properties out there as well.
What about potential solutions for the housing crisis from your perspective?
Look, I think what we need to look at is stamp duty from both the state and the federal government need to get into this debate about what stamp duty are doing out there to make housing more unaffordable for buyers. What's the first home owner grant doing out there? So 750,000 in some states, that's not good enough for first home buyers. Are we incentivizing buyers to look at regional centres as well? So let's get them out of the urban centres where it's so expensive for first home buyers to buy. Let's incentivize them to look at regional sectors. And that will be great for our regions of Australia as well. So there's a lot of things that the state and the federal government can look at. And I'm afraid that just speaking about negative gearing all the time, it's disincentivizing people just to get into the market as such. So we need to encourage investors and first home buyers alike with our policies.
And the rental market, it continues to be a challenge. Doesn't matter how you look at it.
It's so challenging in the rental market out there. And on the back of this, we've made it more expensive for landlords to own properties. So the maintenance costs are rising for landlords out there, Tim. The state government is charging more tax. There's more land taxes. The rates have gone up. So all these costs on landlords, it's going to be passed on to tenants and renters out there. So it's more challenging for tenants out there to find affordable properties because the cost that the landlords have to forego now.
Do you think we'll see interest rates come down at the back end of the year?
Look, I don't know about that. They always say different things about interest rates, so we try to stick to the market that we know. But I hope there's some respite there for homeowners towards the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's plenty of people that are hurting at the moment. Avi, great to have you on the show. Let's do it again.
Thanks, Tim.